is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomnl.com.
Hello, everyone. I am Sean Zalmanoff, and this is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast, the number one podcast in these great lands for loan officers, by loan officers. And I'm excited to join you today, and I'm excited for these two amazing, lovely women that are part of our Next Level community. And, I get to work with them on an everyday basis too, in the flip side, in the mortgage world. So please welcome Julie Poulin and Jhanae Laplante.
Welcome. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Ladies, how are you today?
Doing great.
Good.
So I've had the pleasure of knowing, well, I guess a little over 3 years and a little over 2 years for both of you. And you've been pretty much part of Next Level since the day you met me. So that's amazing and awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, because one of you has been doing this for a few years, and the other one has a little bit less experience in the world, but has quickly learned from a master.
So we are located in Auburn, Maine. Population here in Androscoggin County is 109,000 people. Maine is 1.3 million. I've been doing lending for over 20 years. I'm in my 20th year, actually. And prior to that, I did financial advising. So I'm always proud to say having that background has helped me so much in lending, because I've been more of an advisor. So it's not I'm not a transactional loan officer. It's all about relationships and really listening to the clients and finding out what they need and want. And I use my background, tax planning, ability to read tax returns and stuff like that. So that's my financial history there. Jhanae.
So I have been doing mortgages since 2018. I started at a credit union in the mortgage industry, of course, but it was more in-house, your 700 plus credit score, conventional loans, some home equities as well. And I just wanted to branch off. So of course I met with Julie and she told me how to get into the business. Before that, I was in the credit union industry for 8 years, started as a teller, left again as a mortgage loan officer.
So Julie, I mean, not only were you a financial planner before this, but your dad, who is probably, there's no one else who's been more influential on your life than him. I mean, he was a financial planner. So, I mean, it's not just that it was that you were a financial planner. I mean, it's part of your DNA.
Correct.
What you do and help people.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear. I know how important
I had to save half
is
my
to you.
babysitting. From the time I had my first job in babysitting, I had to save half of everything I earned. But at 20 years old, true story, I owned my first home in a 3-unit apartment building.
Money. So, ladies, we have something that we talk about in our Next Level community all the time. We talk about our ATMs, and I mean, those shift from sometimes season to season, as we call it. Julie, in the 3.5 years that we've known each other right now, they've changed drastically for you.
Yes.
So I want to talk about those, but first, just so kind of everybody understands, you ladies have a unique setup, and incredibly badass team. And so why don't you talk a little bit about your team, kind of give us your baseball card stats, and let's talk about the ATMs, the actions that matter that you're crushing it with in your world.
Okay. So the way the team, well, when I first came to Next Level and to Sean, he actually said, you're going to be doing online apps. And my first thing was, I will never do an online app, so you shouldn't hire me. and now if I have to meet with a client, I'm like, I'd rather do an online app. So that was a huge shift, because I definitely was not one that embraces technology like a lot of these youngins like Jhanae do. But I know that I'm a fish out of water if I don't. So I'm being forced. For all the new loan officers, the way I built my business was 100% from know, like, and trust. Going into offices or talking to anyone new, you definitely do not want to just start throwing products and rates around. Just get to know them. Go where their realtors are and clients that you want to target. So when I started building, I realized I can't do this alone. Like, I just had so much coming in from the know, like, and trust and referrals. So when I talked to Sean, this is where also Next Level was huge for me, is this divide and conquer and building a team. So I had Lori Jhanae, who's my number one right-hand loan partner. And she couldn't handle all the volume coming in as well. So we talked about, what can this look like from start to finish, having a well-oiled machine. So I currently have 2 upfront loan partners, and in changing the name from loan assistant was huge, because they were like, I don't want to talk to your assistant. I want to talk to you. But it's funny, when Sean suggested change their name to loan partner, it's like they're excited. They're like, oh, it's Julie's loan partner. And so that was very huge in creating the team and pulling myself out of it in certain roles and getting that trust for clients and agents to work with my team. So we have 2 upfront loan partners. So they basically do the pre-qual. So we push everyone to the app, the SimpleNexus app. And, we don't even offer an in-person or online or over the phone application anymore. In order to get an appointment with us or to go on in the process, they have to fill out the online app.
So it's funny when people are presented with one option, they don't ask for other options, right?
Exactly. And it's so much, and Sean has coached me so much on this, is wording. It's like the scripting and what you say to your client or your referral partners, because we as loan officers, we have the scarcity mentality sometimes. So we want to people please, and oh yeah, no problem, I'll do that. I'll meet with you at 6:00 on a Friday afternoon or what. And it's just, if you take the options off the table and you show up powerfully and frame the conversation, it's amazing how different it's been going. So,
Julie, I think I remember the last time that you met with somebody at 6:00 on a Friday, because at 7:30 you finally pulled their credit.
Yeah.
And realized you couldn't do a loan with them, and you're like, I'm never gonna do that again.
I actually, true story, threw my pencil in the air and dropped my head on the desk and didn't even realize. I sat up. I'm like, oh my God, I did not just do that. The client was looking at me like, is this a bad thing? And I'm like, it was so embarrassing. One of my famous moments.
Great moment.
Yeah. So the loans come in. My 2 loan partners, are dividing because there's a lot coming in, and they have spreadsheets. They have follow up, like their detail to where they're at up front is so amazing. So they enter everything now into Lender Logic that we just got, and that's my cue when it shows that they're pre-qualified. I then can go in and say, okay, so-and-so just got pre-qualified. This is the agent. So then I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling each one just to say, hey, how's it going? I see you were pre-qualified, and just, small talk. I'm not really calling and going over numbers, rates, scenarios. So it just helps me come in and have the relationship with them. And so that's huge. And then after they're pre-qualified, they go into contract, then it goes to Lori. She is my loan partner too, my right-hand girl, and she flips the loans live, and she works closely with I have a dedicated processor, Chris Imel, and thank you, Sean. And she works with Lori, those 2 together, to go through the loan process from start to finish. I do the initial call with the borrower once the loan's in, and I go over the initial loan estimate, the snap docs explaining that they'll be signing some docs online as well, very few at closing. I go over the interest rate and just, make sure that because the numbers are the biggest thing that I find through the process. That is always the issue, is how much do I need at closing? So I go over assets. Cash is bad, 4-letter bad word, that type of stuff. So that way we're very clear, and I make sure, and I follow up with an email, that they're clear on the next step, because then it goes through their end, Lori and Chris's end, a lot smoother. They're not asking them, well, no one told me what my numbers were. And we just got there. It's been trial and error building the team, because I wasn't doing those initial calls. It was so fast. My team's so efficient. Like start to finish, we could close loans in probably 2 weeks if it wasn't for the appraisers. I'm like, wait, what?
You have an interesting setup with appraisers in Maine, and they're just not having enough of them, and them not really caring what they charge or how fast they turn anything around.
Right. It's insane. Yeah, they overcharge, but I know the ones that have not shown up for me. So when things slow, like right now, guess who's not getting those orders?
Well, something that's been really cool to start the year as well too is, while so many other teams are, saying Chicken Little, the sky's falling, and oh my gosh, we're going to close less loans this year, and we know that overall the mortgage market will. You've actually added another person to your team to increase the front end contact from the loan partner side of things, and really been able to refine your process and dive into just a much, you added a few more cylinders to this Ferrari.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is, one thing I tell all of you is don't get paralyzed by the market. We're actually having a normal winter in Maine. We just haven't seen it in the last few winters because we've been so busy. And it's actually a gift because we've been able to step back, and I say, okay, it's quiet. This is a blessing. Let's look at our systems. I'm making, first 2 hours of every morning, I'm going through my database and cleaning it. I'm calling the agents. Are these loans have expired? They're all 120 days old. Are you still working with this client actively? And oh gosh, I forgot about that one. I'm like, okay, well, let's tag team them. You call them, follow up. I'm going to call them, update their docs. And then, we're just like every day. And we have so many because, of course, with the inventory shortage, these people just haven't done anything. And then if some moved on, I paid cash, they're gone. We leave them in for future prospects, but it's just cleaning things up, which is nice. And that comes from my upfront team right now too. The two loan partners that I referred to, they're emailing me every day with the loans that are expiring. So that way they set up my calls for me for the next day. So that's awesome.
So for y'all listening right now, or maybe watching us on YouTube, all of these things that Julie is describing, they're the ATMs, the actions that matter in our business that, we like to say move the needle for us. So by being able to re-engage with the expired pre-approvals, the expired $5,000 guarantees that we do, be able to tell an agent, hey, by the way, Jim's still out there. Oh man, forgot all about Jim. These are refreshing everybody through this system. This is where the money's made. Going for her and just going through the numbers, laying out the program. Here's what your pity is. Here's what your cash to close is. This is where you're at. These are the things that make her team the most money. And another very integral part of that team, and really something that you don't really see very often, Jhanae. So, you came on board the second you said you wanted to work with us. I was like, yes, this is a great idea. You should come and do this. Remember the story, you tell yourself the most, the story you believe the most. And
I was going to say,
I'm telling myself the most.
One, right?
And so you're doing the loan officer thing and actually having some pretty amazing success, closing over $1 million a month right out of the gate, and realizing how much you dislike the actual day-to-day loan officer functions, but how great you are at marketing, social media, and engaging with agents and forming relationships. So you went to Julie and what'd you say, and where are you guys at now?
So we determined through multiple conversations where possibly my strengths are her weaknesses and vice versa. So we, came up with this fantastic idea of creating a team so we can divide and conquer, those roles and make me more of the marketing and the agent relationship up front, especially with the new agents. So we thought this would be a great idea too, because we are targeting two separate client base. Julie has, of course, her past client base, where mine was really focusing on first-time home buyers as well, which also brings in those new agents. I had great success with new agents. So we created different, money-making activities or marketing ideas to keep us in front of these agents So one of the biggest things I do with the agent relationship is a lot of advising and educating, loan option series with them, just kind of staying in front of them, having myself available to them for different questions when they're at showings, going through all of the technology we have to offer. And, it's been very successful just with that point there. The education really sets us out from other lenders around here, where other lenders are not, doing the education piece. And we have the opportunity with our team to have me as that set role. So it's been really successful, and I really enjoy it. There's multiple technologies that we are just tapping into, or I'm forcing us to tap into, and educating the agents and now clients with Lender Logics. And it's just, again, it's been really successful. And I think that's definitely one of our main money-making activities that we've been focusing on.
Yeah, you've really both done fantastic. And like Jhanae, your approach with your agents, I mean, it's like when you meet a new agent, whether they're new or new to you, there's a 3-step meeting process that you, go through to create value, show them different parts of the process to not overwhelm them, put our app in their hands and really set them up for success. And Julie, it's been interesting too, because you've had so many established relationships for so long. I've even seen you really going after a lot of newer agents and realizing with all the technology at your fingertips and just really kind of how the market's shifting and, who's going to be the successful realtors in 5, 10, and 15 years. You both have really carved out a niche in really educating the young or young to the business agents that are entering the market.
Yeah, because a lot of my agents are, been in the industry as long as I have, 20 or 20 plus years. The thing is a lot of them are now listing agents, and I know that. So they've created their own teams. And when you're busy, doing a lot of volume, you don't have time to go nurture the brand new agents that are your future agents. So it's kind of a catch-22 because we can't disregard these new agents. That's our future. So us doing this has worked out so amazing because we'll go to the initial appointment together to introduce ourselves and the team. And then she will set up 3 meetings after 1 hour a week, and she'll cover products. But before we go to that meeting, we do have the SimpleNexus set up. So we go pull off their information, their photos, their company, so that way we can just have them download it right on the spot. Because we found that was tweaked, because we found by not doing that, we'd go into the offices and speak in general to a group. We tell them about the app, and they, how agents, they're just busy and they would not download it. And because we can tell and see that they did or didn't. So this has worked out so much better. And then she'll go over the app and show them how simple it is. And I can tell you right now, is my nights and weekends were consumed with running numbers, pre-quals. Like I need a letter now for 5 different properties in case I make an offer, and I do not get called or text or anything. I can't tell you the last time, because my team has been so efficient at training these agents and borrowers. They're using the app and the calculator. That SimpleNexus app is probably the number 1 tool that is money. Like sharing it, we ask them to share it to all their friends, or if they're out there, we've showed them how to do that. Things are shifting where we're finding that a lot of the buyers are reaching out to us and they haven't talked to agents. So we have been starting to give out weekly. We're giving referrals to agents. And again, this is all from the activity and like literally making SimpleNexus our best friend.
Yeah. So friends, next level community listening right now, something we talk about all the time. Like I firmly believe that technology will never replace loan officers, but I also know for a fact from what I see at this point, loan officers that embrace technology will replace those that don't. And a couple things that Julie and Jhanae have mentioned here. One, you've got to get in the hands of realtors, you've got to get in the hands of your borrowers, but 2, like it takes it, whether you use SimpleNexus or Pre-Approve Me or something out there like that for your app, take the extra 2 minutes, download their logo, download their picture, put their information in it, set up a username and password, and hand it to them.
Yeah.
Like the adoption rate that you will get by having, by doing those few things versus asking them to do those few things is exponentially different, and your results will be exponentially different. Speaking of results, I asked you to give some baseball card stats, and last year was a pretty epic year. Y'all closed 230 loans for over $46 million. I know some of y'all sitting in Texas and California right now are being like, I would have closed 500 million if I closed, if you had 240 loans or 230 loans. But some of us live in Missouri, some of us live in
when your average loan size is 201,000, and that's up. It used to be 125, then it went to 160. Till I joined Sean, I think my average loan size was 125 to 160.
Well, I remember the first time y'all came to visit me, and the plane landed, and you were driving, and you were like, wait, Missouri has more than cow pastures here? Like,
exactly.
The building's over a story tall. Wow.
I was like, St. Louis was huge. I'm like, wow, this is like huge.
Which is funny because there's as many people in St. Louis as there is in the state of Maine. And they're dogging me. Gosh.
Yeah. So, so in 20, we set some pretty crazy goals.
Let's talk about 2022. What are the goals for this year?
Well, end of last year, we were thinking we wanted to definitely do 60 million. But, just with starting first quarter, lack of inventory and stuff, we're not giving up on that, but we kind of just tailored it down to, we want to definitely do at least 20 to 25 loans a month. So, that's our minimum. So we have charts. We've done SWOT. For those of you that are familiar with that, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so we're really turning all of our threats into opportunities, and our weaknesses into strengths. We've defined in more detail just last week each role of each one of us. And I have to be the fearless leader showing up to lead and stop being Mother Teresa, as Jhanae says to me, and hold each of us, including myself, accountable to those roles. Because it's very, it gets confusing when, as a team, you try and rescue each other, because we do get, raising your hand and saying we need help. Absolutely 100%. We're all going to hop right in and help. But if we do that too often, it creates a crutch or a miscommunication. And that's what we've found as we're building the team, that was happening. So we're very clear, crystal clear on what each of our roles are. And it's going awesome. And so volume, I think, again, our pre-quals, we would be closing the more than we probably projected with what we're taking in for pre-quals and apps. Unfortunately, there's no inventory.
Well, so that's really important for everybody to track and think about right now.
Yeah.
I know that, for teams like yourselves that are running, 50 started apps a month, that usually equals about 20 to 25 LEs going out a month. And so it usually equals 18 to 20 closings a month pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Now, in the market that a lot of us are in right now, and it's crazy because consumers just don't understand. They're like, you don't need to wait for the crocuses to pop. Like, just list your house, leave it dirty, and they'll pay you $50,000 more for it. But they don't understand that, and we're not going to fix that in the course of a few weeks before spring pops. A lot of people right now, they're doing 50 apps. They're triggering 5 or 10 LEs. And so, you have to look at it differently when we have these normal winters. Mm-hmm. When activity is still this high, everybody's got to take a moment, pat themselves on the back and be like, this is just future business. That means all of these people are in the market, and all of a sudden, 1 month, people are going to take 50 apps. You're going to trigger 60 LEs because you've taken so many previous apps. All these houses are going to hit the market. People are going to have 35, 40 closings. So you really have to know your numbers. We talk about it in Next Level all the time. And if you want to find out more about Next Level, all you have to do is go to becomenl.com to find out about that. But when you're tracking your numbers, you see these things. If you're only looking at closings, you can be looking in the mirror and being like, oh man, I'm a failure. And man, it's just the market. If there's no houses to buy, but you have the apps, that's all future business. But if you don't track your numbers, you don't know these things, and then you have your eye on the wrong target. You're like, oh man, I'm not making money. My P&L is going negative. I'm not paying bills. I'm not, this and that's going on. And it's like, well, I mean, in a normal world, if you're running a P&L, your goal is to be in the black by the end of March. And so if you're running your own P&L, you're not making the amount of money that you want to as a loan officer, but your app count's super high right now with quality apps. Yeah. It's all coming. NAR says that this is going to be one of the strongest real estate markets we've ever seen in 2022. And they've been there. Their forecast, we know the refis are pretty much gone. You got a lot of cash out deals that could happen. But your rate and term refis, at least for the time being, are out the window. But right now that there is, if NAR's right, and again, they usually are, we are going to have an amazing spring and summer.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I definitely, and that's the attitude that we have had. Hence why back to database cleanup, like the money's there. Get those pre-quals that have expired in your pipelines and get them current, because you'd rather be proactive than them all of a sudden finding a house. They need all their new docs and they want to put an offer in a nanosecond. So that's how when I'm talking with them, I'm like, even if you're thinking of buying in the fall, I want to do this now. Like, let's look at where you're at, because they don't think they're ready. But every time I pre-qual them, all of a sudden they're under contract or they're out looking. And I'm like, oh, what happened to waiting till September? So don't listen to them. They don't even know what they want. Like, just be forceful in the fact it's an amazing time to buy. I don't discuss rates at all, because they're all negative. The agents are negative. So one of the things, I'll be quick on this, that I told Jhanae when we were planning our 2022 is I want to do something different. I want to look at our agents. We work with over 100 agents. I want to narrow it down to our top agents that work as a team. They're fine that they don't talk to me 24/7. They understand the team concept. They embrace the team concept. And so we brainstormed and we sat down and we came up with like 38 agents. And I said, every month I want to nurture them through their pillars in their life, not just what can you do for me with real estate and vice versa. So in January, I bought on Amazon, $20, I think, or less, the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. So, we met with these agents. I had 38 agent appointments in January. I'm telling you, one-on-one with me and her. And we literally told them what we're looking to do for the year, that we want to invest in you. So January was the book. February, we did date night boxes. So 52 date night ideas in a box, and had like little coins, and it had the right on there, so they can just randomly pick it up with their spouses, who they're dating.
You need to send me one of those.
It's so cool.
Cool.
And then I'm super excited about March. Is Satema's coming to Maine, for those of you who have heard him speak, and he is going to speak to my agents and it'll tie into the mindset, my theme. So he's flying here March 30th. He'll be here. And so and I bought his book, Winning After the Game, and he's going to autograph them and take photos with our agents. Awesome. So that's March. And then we go on to April, May, we have something every month. So one of the things that just yesterday, I got a text from an agent with the picture of the book, and she goes, I just finished my Miracle Morning book. And she's like, this has changed my life, and now it's to do the work. And she's like, I said, just start small, slow and steady. Don't try and do an hour workout when you've never worked out. So it's creating conversations back and forth with the agents. And that was my whole purpose, is like, you build this loyalty, and they see, like, I can't get over how huge that's been in even talking to agents that I know from Alaska that I don't work with. She's like, oh my God, I wish you were a lender in my market. My lenders don't invest in us at all. And it's just telling everyone, that's what you do for your agent. It's just incredible. So,
well, ladies, this has been fire today, but we are running up on loan officers' attention time spans as well as drive time spans.
I bet.
So Is there any other parting shots that you want to deliver or mention? I know you can find Julie Poulin and Jhanae Laplante everywhere on social media, but anywhere that you want to let them know that they should specifically look for you in your IG reels or where they should connect. And
You'll start seeing reels from me. I'm being forced.
So we are really trying to engage in the social media even more, have a consistent, view there. So you definitely will see us a lot on Instagram. We're gravitating more towards that. We'll pair, Facebook with it as well. But again, we also really have tapped into our next level loan officers that we've met. We have great relationships. I think it's really important for people to know that if you do decide to join Next Level, that is one of the best things for me is the relationships I've made out of Next Level. And, just hearing raw stories, but also great ideas from other lenders across the United States.
Yeah,
and social media, it's a Poulin team on Instagram,
yes.
right?
Yes.
All right. So friends, listen, if you want to become part of our community, again, you can go to becomenl.com for that. Go check out the Poulin team on Instagram. Jhanae could not have been any more precise. There's amazing coaches inside of Next Level. We wouldn't be here without the founders and the others that we brought in, but there is no way we would have gotten to the level that we have with the members and built the community if it wasn't for everybody else in the group. The reason that Next Level is absolutely amazing, it's because of all the people that have joined it. And that has just created such a unique and fantastic opportunity to plug in. I mean, there's accountability groups. There's people, every other day I see something posted on our Facebook page. Hey, we're meeting here. We're doing this. Or I kind of feel left out sometimes that I didn't get the invite to Florida when like 20 people are hanging out somewhere. But that's what you get with joining us, as well as amazing content and ideas for only $197 a month. There is nowhere, I know this, nowhere you can get as much content and value for such a cheap price. Julie, Jhanae, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, friends, I'm Sean Zalmanoff. Appreciate you all. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.